It is the year 1885, and a town that was just connected to the railroad has recently changed its name. At first, the town went by the old Seminole name of Ichipokasassa, but the name caused enough confusion that the town was renamed to Cork after the Irish city that the postmaster was from. However, in 1885, the town would finally settle on a name: Plant City. Henry Plant was born in 1819 in Branford, Connecticut, to a farming family. At age 6, his father and sister died of typhus, and several years later, he attended a private school in New Haven, Connecticut, after his mother remarried. While he had prospects of going to Yale, Plant decided instead to work on a steamboat called the New York, on runs between New Haven and New York City. After marrying a woman named Ellen Blackstone, Plant decided to go ashore and transferred from working in steamboats to the railroad industry at a company called Adams Express. In 1853, Ellen was ordered south for her health. Thus, the couple went south to Jacksonville in Florida. While in Jacksonville, Plant became impressed with Florida's possibilities for development. In 1854, the pair went south again, and this time Plant decided to stay. Plant gained responsibility for all Adams Express Company interests south of the Ohio and Potomac rivers. However, with the Civil War's onset, Adams Express sold its southern properties, fearing confiscation, to Plant, who organized the Southern Express Company. Through the war, Plant's company was made to be an agent of the Confederacy in collecting tariffs and transporting money. In 1863, Plant was allowed by Confederate officials to sail for Bermuda from his Augusta, Georgia home. After a month in Bermuda, Plant traveled north, then across the Atlantic to Europe. While in France, Plant was informed that his Confederate passport was no longer valid. Thus, Plant was issued a French passport, stating he was a U.S. citizen from Georgia. Plant traveled across Europe before returning to the U.S. via Canada. Plant returned to the South in early 1865 to reclaim his Southern Express Company. Following the Civil War, the railroad companies of the South were left largely bankrupt and devastated by war. Plant took this opportunity to buy the Atlantic and Gulf and Charleston and Savannah railroads. Plant began building a rail system along the southern Atlantic coast that eventually included 14 companies and around 2,100 miles of track, along with several steamboat lines and hotels. In collaboration with several prominent Florida businessmen, including Henry Flagler, who Flagler College in St. Augustine is named for, Plant organized the Plant Investment Company as a holding company for the properties he controlled. Plant's railroads made it easier for goods from Florida to be sold in northern markets. At this time, Tampa was a town with little more than a few hundred people living in it. Plant decided to make Tampa the terminus of his railroad and established a steamboat line to Havana, Cuba. To hold these new travelers, Plant had the Tampa Bay Hotel, built in an extravagant Moorish style. The hotel opened in 1891 and was Florida's first hotel to have an elevator, electric lights, and telephones in every room. The hotel operated as a base for U.S. forces during the Spanish-American War and is now the main building of the University of Tampa and home to the Henry Plant Museum. Plant also built the Pico Hotel in Sanford and either built or bought the Port Tampa Inn, Hotel Kissimmee, Seminole Hotel, Hotel Punta Gorda, the Ocala House, and the Fort Myers Hotel. Plant's properties and the growth of Florida in the South along his rail lines made Henry Plant among the richest people in the South at the time. Plant's fame prompted the people of Cork, a small city that was initially called Itchipakasassa, to decide that maybe naming their town after the guy who was responsible for the establishment of many Florida cities would be better than the place that their postmaster was from. Ironically, Henry Plant never visited Plant City and was largely indifferent to some town naming themselves after him. Henry Plant died in 1899, but his legacy survives throughout the state of Florida in towns like Plant City. Thanks for watching.